Over the past couple of videos, I've gotten more and more comments saying that my content lately has just been too depressing and too sad. And in a way I really agree. My content lately has been a reflection of what I've been going through and a reflection of my mood a lot of these days. But this week something happened that was just a reminder that even amidst hard times, it's still good to look at the positive and that there's still a silver lining even when times are tough. You see, even since I was young, I've always been kind of more of a glass half empty type of person. And especially when it came to fitness or working out, I would always take it extremely hard on myself when I couldn't live up to my expectations of myself, often getting depressed or even falling into a bad mood just because I had one bad day at the gym. And especially when it came to hitting PRs and setting lifetime personal records, when I couldn't achieve the things that I'd set out to do, it often just put me in such a bad mood, making me feel like it was all useless and wondering what the point of all of it was. And what was the absolute worst was when inevitably injuries came along. Those times were just so close to throwing me into a state of despair, just making me stop and making me question the point of everything, just absolutely giving myself no grace at all. Thinking back, my mentality during those times was just totally focused on the negative, just not looking to anything positive whatsoever. It was just such a negative headspace to be in, and despite having a fit body, I was just always one step away from falling into despair or depression again. And so when it came to taking care of Mom in her illness, it was always very easy to kind of fall into that same sort of headspace. Always feeling like no matter how hard I tried and no matter how much I did, it was never enough. Just watching her get worse and worse and just feeling entirely helpless to do anything to slow or stop it. But this week we were surprised when the hospice nurse actually decided to take Mom off of hospice, telling us that in her evaluation of her over the past couple of weeks that it didn't seem like Mom was declining quickly enough and that she didn't actually need the service. Telling us that we had been doing a great job taking care of her, and in fact that the reason that she was still around and doing so well was because of the level of care she was receiving. It was really a silver lining and the first good news that I had heard in relation to Mom's condition in a long time now. That it was because of our care for her and our consistency in helping her exercise and feeding her properly that she may be around for some time yet. And so this week, it was just such a huge reminder to stay positive and especially to celebrate the small wins when they come. And so it reminds me of this story that I'd never shared before. You see, back when Mom first got sick and had to leave her job and go on disability, I'd helped her file her California SDI, State Disability Insurance application, for replacement income for a disability. As a part of that application, there was a doctor's note that was required and a report that the doctor had to file. But little did I know, the doctor actually filled out the form wrong and had filled out the wrong phone number and the wrong contact information for the doctor's office. And so when the state unemployment department tried to reach the office to confirm some information, they couldn't reach the doctor's office, so the application just sat for a year. After refiling the application, going back to the doctor's office 3 times to get the corrected information filled out, the application finally went through and got approved a year later, and Mom started getting her disability payments that she deserved. Except this time, since it had been a year since the first incorrect application had been filed, the calculation got messed up and Mom only received 10% of what she was owed. Long story short, after multiple refiles, multiple appeals, and multiple hours spent on hold with the disability office, I finally received an appointment for a court date to appear in front of a judge to make our case as to why Mom's payment was wrong and why she was owed more. When that day came, I took Mom to the courthouse with me. It was just us two, but little did I know that they were expecting her to appear for herself. Not knowing that she was entirely unable to represent herself, and also not knowing that I was there on her behalf, and not having the permission for me to be able to do so. And so the judge was just not happy. He was surprised that I was there, and he had no information as to who I even was. But after seeing Mom's condition for a little while, he allowed me to speak for her. I had prepared a clearly detailed package with different artifacts showing the whole process of how we ended up where we were. Detailing out dates of the original application, problems where the doctor had left off information, missing contact information, dates of the refiled application, a clear breakdown of the calculations that showed exactly how much Mom was owed and how much she was getting and the difference between the two. And for about 30 minutes, I walked the judge through exactly the order of events of how we ended up where we were and what we were hoping for from his review. And you know, from the very beginning when we met him to the end of my presentation of the facts of the case, the judge's demeanor had never changed. It started off cold and distant and really ended that way as well. There was really no change whatsoever. But at the very end, when I was finished and he excused us and I was collecting my things and grabbing Mom, the judge turned to me and gave me a small, warm smile and said, "Your mom is so lucky to have you." In that moment, it felt like my heart was exploding and tears welled up in my eyes instantly. I packed up our stuff and collected Mom as quickly as I could, trying to hide my tears so Judge wouldn't see. Outside, after I got Mom into the car, I asked her if she understood what the judge said and if she understood what had happened. And the only thing that she told me was, "The judge said that I'm lucky to have you." It was just such a small but hugely meaningful win in a difficult time. And that's all I wanted to leave with you guys this week. That instead of discounting those small times and those small wins, really let those times uplift us and stay positive, because those moments are all around us. And one of the best ways to do that is just to cherish them and remember them, to recall them and not just forget, to be thankful and be grateful for those moments and not to take them for granted.